Good morning. Hi everybody. We are in a beautiful place. It's called San Anton Gardens. It's full of flowers and beautiful trees and lots of fruit and pigeons, and it's all taken care of by ELC. Thank you very much, ELC. So, today we're going to have a lovely story. Thank you very much for watching our stories, by the way. We're so happy with all the views we have. And Teddy's asleep again. Okay, Ted, it's time to get up. We've been here since the crack of dawn and Teddy's a bit cold. Okay, he's ready now, so we're going to uncover him. Okay, then after we'll have maybe a nice orange. What do you think? What do you think, Ted? Teddy's a bit grumpy at the moment, but he'll get over it. Okay, Ted? So today, pardon? Sorry, we're probably going to have some hot chocolate too, because Teddy loves hot chocolate. Okay? Okay, Ted, get closer and cuddly. Okay, so today we're going to talk about George. George, who's George? George, the smartest giant in town. It's a lovely book by Julia Donaldson, and a special thank you to Krista for lending us this lovely book. And have you heard of George? Well, sit tight, and we're going to go through the story. George was a giant, the scruffiest giant in town. He's not smart like you, Ted. He always wore the same pair of old brown trousers, old brown sandals, and the same old patched-up gown. "I wish I wasn't the scruffiest giant in town," he said sadly. But one day, George noticed a new shop. Ooh, I love shops. Ted, what do you think? I love shops. Do you like shops? It was full of smart clothes. We like smart clothes too. So he bought a smart shirt, a smart pair of trousers, a smart belt, a smart stripy tie, quite trendy, George. Some smart socks with diamonds up the side. Ooh, I love diamonds up the side. And a pair of smart shiny shoes. I like the way this guy dresses. "Now I'm the smartest giant in town," he said proudly. George left his old clothes behind in the shop. He was about to go home when he heard a sound. A sound? On the pavement stood a giraffe who was sniffing sadly. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's my neck," said the giraffe. "It's so very long and so very cold. I wish I had a long, warm scarf." We should lend him our blanket. Ted, what do you think? Do you feel cold in winter? We do. "Cheer up," said George, and he took off his stripy tie. "It doesn't match my socks anyway," he said, as he wound it round and round the giraffe's neck. Now we'll show you the pictures. It made a wonderful scarf. "Thank you," said the giraffe. As George strode towards home, he sang to himself, "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe, but look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town." Okay, we like being smart, eh, Ted? George came to a river. On a boat stood a goat, who was bleating loudly. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's my sail," said the goat. "It blew away in the storm. I wish I had a strong new sail for my boat." Oh, all these things happening while George is walking. "Cheer up," said George, and he took off his new and white shirt. "It kept coming untucked anyway," he said, as he tied it to the mast of the goat's boat. It made a magnificent sail. How kind he is. "Thank you," said the goat. "Thank you so much." George strode on, singing to himself, "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt's on a boat as a sail for a goat. But look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town." His clothes are going, one by one. George came to a tiny ruined house. Beside the house stood a white mouse with lots of baby mice. They were all squeaking. "What's the matter?" asked George. It's our house, squeaked the mother mouse. "It burned down and now we have nowhere to live. I wish we had a nice new house. All these things happening." "Cheer up," said George, and he took off one of his shiny shoes. "It gave me blisters anyway," he said, as the mouse and her babies scrambled inside. The shoe made a perfect home for them. Thank you so much, they squealed. How kind George is. Would you give your shoes to a mouse? Why not? George had to hop along the road now, because he only had one shoe. But he didn't mind. As he hopped, he sang to himself, "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt on a boat for a sail for a goat. My shoe is a house for a little white mouse. But look me up and down, and I'm the smartest giant in town." George came to a campsite. Do you like campsites? I love campsites in summer. Beside the tent stood a fox who was crying. "Oh no, a fox is crying now." "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's my sleeping bag," said the fox. "I dropped it in a puddle. I wish I had a warm, dry sleeping bag." How kind George is. "Cheer up," said George. And he took off one of his socks with diamonds up the sides. "It was tickling my toes anyway," he said. As the fox snuggled into it, it made a very fine sleeping bag. "Thank you," said the fox. "Thank you so much." George hopped on, singing to himself, song getting longer and longer now. "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt on a boat as a sail for a goat. My shoe is a house for a little white mouse. One of my socks is a bed for a fox. But look me up and down, and I'm the smartest giant in town, and I would say the kindest too." George came to a big squelched bog. Beside the bog stood a dog. He was howling. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's this bog," said the dog. "I need to get across, but I can't. I keep getting stuck in the mud. I wish there was a safe, dry path." "Oh, all these problems. Poor George." "Cheer up," said George, as he took off his smart new belt. "It was squashing my tummy anyway," he said. As he laid over the bog, it made an excellent path. Thank you so much," said the dog. The wind started to blow. It's getting a bit windy here too. But George didn't mind. He hopped on singing to himself, "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt's on a boat for the sail of a goat. My shoe is a house for a little white mouse. One of my socks is a bed for a fox. My belt helped a dog who was crossing a bog. But, oh no, my trousers are falling down. And I'm the coldest giant in town. Oh, poor George." Suddenly George felt sad and shivery and not at all smart. He stood on one foot and thought, "I'll have to go back to the shop and buy some more clothes," he decided. He turned round and hopped all the way back to the shop. Now you'll see all the lovely pictures Robert's going to take. But when he got there, it was closed. "Oh no!" "Oh no!" cried George. He sank down onto the doorstep, and a tear ran down his face and his nose. He felt so sad, as all the animals he met on his way home. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw a bag with something familiar poking out of the top. George took a closer look. "My gown!" he yelled. "My dear old gown and sandals!" George put them on. They felt wonderfully comfortable. "I'm the coziest giant in town," he cried, and he danced home, all the way back home along the road. Outside the front door stood all the animals he helped. They were carrying enormous presents. Do you like presents, Teddy? We sure do. "Come on, George," they said. Open them all up." George untied the ribbon. Inside was a beautiful gold paper crown and a card. "Look inside the card, George," said the animals. Look inside. George put the crown on his head and opened the card. Inside it read, "Your tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. Your shirt is a boat for a sail of a goat. Your shoe is a house for the little white mouse. One of your socks is a bed for a fox. Your belt held the dog who was crossing a bog. So here's a very fine crown to go with the sandals and your gown for the kindest giant in town. Oh, that's amazing. An amazing story. So see how nice and kind he was. It's like you and me. You're kind, eh, Ted? Yes, Ted is very kind because he comes everywhere with us. And we're going to say bye from this beautiful garden. Again, thank you very much for watching. Please keep watching and press like and subscribe. And thanks again to Robert and Naomi. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.